Hi, my name is Joe Seabrooks, and welcome to Sunsational News, our new video blog where we celebrate the amazing students and programs at Dallas College, Cedar Valley. Today, we have some amazing guests. We have students from the one and only, the amazing, the incredible, the phenomenal Cedar Hill Collegiate Academy and High School, and they're joining us today. Tell us who you are. Who'll start?
First and foremost, thank you for having us. It's definitely a pleasure to be here. My name is Matthew Mitchell, and I'm currently at CVC working on a associate degree of science. And I plan on continuing my educational path, going to college and double majoring in architecture and also business.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me. My name is Thurman Walton. I am also at Cedar Valley College. I'm pursuing my associate's in science right now, and I also can plan on continuing my education at HBCU of choice. You know, I am still looking, but I want to pursue geothermal engineering. And
Fantastic. Thank you for being here.
Hi, my name is Wendy Beltran. I'm currently in the academic study of Associates of Science. Hopefully in the future, I'm going to be majoring in political science, and I want to become a lawyer.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Skylar Weber. I'm also getting my Associates of Science. I'm planning on double majoring in sustainability sciences and ecology, because I want to be an environmental lawyer.
Fantastic.
Thank you again for having this. Sorry.
No, it's our pleasure. And you know, you all are amazing students at an amazing program. We also have the fearless leader, the champion, the captain of the ship, the principal. Introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Principal John Edmond, and this is actually my first year here at Collegiate Academy and High School.
Well, we're absolutely thrilled and happy to have you. Now, for those of you in the audience who didn't catch this, a Collegiate Academy is basically high school students who have made the commitment to do the first 2 years of a baccalaureate experience by gaining their associate's degree while they're still in high school. So these are technically juniors and seniors in high school, but they're also freshmen and sophomores in college. So again, thrilled. You all are absolutely amazing and incredible folks. I just have a couple of questions that I've been dying to ask you guys. So out here in Dallas, the number one challenge that we're seeing, folks having problems with talent, the workforce, people who are ready to go to work. And companies are dying to hire you right now. And tell us though, so we can let our companies know, what's the most important things that you look at when you're considering applying for a job?
Well, I believe that the most important thing that I consider when looking for a job is not, what you're going to provide me financially. Most important thing is, what are you going to do for me as a person? How are you going to allow me to grow? How are you going to allow me to gain more knowledge? How are you going to set me up to be successful, in the long run, based off just my head alone? So I think that right there is something that really is really important when looking into a job.
Thank you. Skylar, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I really do agree with that. For me, I think it's really important to have passion and culture in the environment that you're working in, especially since I'm going into environmental sciences and sustainability. I really want to work with people who have the same passion I do for making the world a better place.
Okay. How about you, Thurman?
Yes, for me, I like to live a good lifestyle. I want to be sustained in my financial suites, but I also definitely want to be networked. I want to be put in a better position than I was yesterday, every day. So
I love that, to be sustained in my financial suites.
Yeah.
That needs to be a bumper sticker. Wendy, what do you think?
So adding on to their wonderful responses, networking is also very, very important. The community that you have, how can you help me get to my future career plan? How can I help you get to your future career plan? And also, in general, perhaps if the company is in a future career field that I want to go into, maybe I can learn more about the career field in general.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Principal Edmond, you interact with a lot of corporations also,
Yes,
and
sir.
businesses. What's most important to you as a principal to instill in your students?
I believe that our curriculum already has set things up for them, their experiences, but more importantly, scholars who know exactly what they want. And I believe what I'm hearing right now is them being excellent citizens, being focused and knowing who they want to be. I think that's exactly what, as a whole, we really try to make sure the scholar has the whole individual. They know exactly who they are. And with that being said, they can go wherever they want to go.
Well said. Appreciate that, knowing who you are. So, I don't have the chance to talk to a lot of teenagers as much as I would love to, but let me ask a couple of quick questions that might be a little silly. So, each generation, we all have the soundtrack to our lives, the soundtrack to our high school experience. Tell us, if you would not mind divulging, what are the top songs on your playlist currently?
Never go wrong with J. Cole. J. Cole, most definitely. And if I had to pick a specific song, Love Yours, because it describes just my life and just perfectly.
Love Yours by J. Cole. How about
sir.
you, Wendy? I appreciate that.
Being a Hispanic American, I kind of like to have a little balance of the music that I listen to, whether it's Spanish or English. So I really like to listen to Selena Quintanilla Perez. One of the songs, like one of my favorite songs, is Ya Ves. Like you'll
Ya
see.
Ves.
Yes, that's what it's called.
I know
And I
that one.
also like some English music. So I'm a big Swiftie. I was listening to All Too Well on the way here. So yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Thurman and Lucky, you dying to share. What's on your playlist?
Me, I'm a little bit unconventional. I like No Cap. He's a up and coming artist I think he's out of Mobile, Alabama. But what I like about him is I like, a little bit of street as it's the normal hip hop, but also his personality behind it. And that's what I definitely enjoy about it also.
Excellent. Thank you. And Skylar?
Well, I listen to a lot of music, so I'll name a few people. First and foremost, Mitski. All of her music, amazing. Like, it's so good. Also, Inside Out by Duster. It's so relaxing. It's calming. Whenever I'm going to go to sleep, get ready for school, that's the song I listen to. And then there's this really cool Belarusian group that I'm going to see in Austin called Houses Are Silent. Their music's amazing.
Awesome.
Houses of Silence. I bet you their top hit is shh. No, I'm sorry. I forgive me. Well, thank you all for divulging. I definitely have to step up my music game. But you know what? Please allow us to pause for just a few moments from a message from Dallas College. We'll be right back.
Ellas son las Castillos.
Yo tuve que ayudar a mi familia y pues no pude ir a la escuela.
Igual, y de joven te tuve a ti y a tu hermana y 2 trabajos.
Mamá, ahora que ya me estoy graduando de Dallas College, creo que ya puedo hacerme cargo de los tamales.
¿Escuchó eso, mamá? La chiquilla se quiere hacer cargo de los tamales.
Qué bueno que estás yendo a la escuela porque todavía te falta un montón por aprender.
Abuela.
No te preocupes, Ceci. Dentro de poco vas a estar preparando una nueva carrera. Dallas College.
All right. Welcome back to the Sunsational News video blog, where we celebrate the amazing students and programs at the Dallas College Cedar Valley campus. We're again speaking with the phenomenal students at the Cedar Hill Collegiate Academy and High School and their fearless leader, Principal Edmund. This has been a fantastic conversation. But, let's talk a little bit about your experience, what you've had to do to be in the position that you are today. What are the pros and cons of being a Collegiate Academy student?
Definitely a pro. Obviously, I think being on a college campus, definitely a great thing. Especially going into your 4-year university, you already get, used to the freedom. You get used to having to get your work done, having to get the college work done. It's a different workload. So that's one good thing. But, there's also takeaways. You got to make sacrifices for any good thing. There has to be sacrifices. So, just the normal high school, the parties or maybe the football games, pep rallies. You may not be able to get to those. You got homework or something. Maybe you got to study or something. But in the end, it's definitely all worth it. So,
Awesome. So, Wendy, tell us more about some of the sacrifices that Thurman just mentioned.
So at our school, we don't really have like a designated football team or really any sports. I think all of us, we went to Cedar Hill Collegiate Academy and we've been here since 2015. So we've been here for a while. And I know that they're increasing access to fine arts and different sports and stuff. But like when we were growing up, we did not have any access to that. Before I went to Cedar Hill Collegiate, I used to play the cello, and now when I went into 6th grade, we didn't even have that offer, so I kind of had to like sacrifice that for my education. Do I regret it? No, because I'm about to graduate in 4 months with my Associate's in Science. But yeah, definitely social stuff, homecoming. Like it's not really a homecoming because there's not a homecoming game for collegiate, so it's more so we call it like a fall formal.
Okay.
But there's definitely one pro. We get out earlier than 3:45, which is like what people usually get out at. Like, even seniors, like at Cedar High School, like they have to stay at least like 3:15 around that time, and we get out like 12, 11 if we needed to for like work release. Like I typically get out at like 11 on a Monday or a Tuesday, and I spend my time like working on an internship that me and Skyla are doing.
Awesome.
We're working for someone who is running for Texas State Senate. His name is Salman Bojani, and we've been working on it since like the first week of December, and it's been like a great experience. I've definitely increased my interpersonal skills and just like learned a lot about politics in general. It just motivated me more to like work in that career path.
Absolutely, that's exciting. So it sounds like you're getting to apply the incredible education that you're receiving, and you're not necessarily stuck in a building all day.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. How about you?
Well, first and foremost, the sacrifice is definitely worth it. Like to anybody out there that, you know, is thinking about coming to Collegiate or any early college program, the sacrifice is worth it. I will say that this school or this experience, sometimes you can find yourself, you know, trying to find your way back. You know, you'll get piled with a lot of homeworks. You know, you have to study finals, 2 finals, college and regular high school. And of course, like they mentioned, the sports, the dances, all of that. But at the end of the day, those things are things that you'll experience only in high school. There's life that's after that. And I think the biggest thing about this program is that it teaches you how to balance things. You know, I have a job. I also have to take college classes, high school, and it teaches me to balance all of those things. And those are things that I can take with me beyond college, beyond when I graduate, and, you know, use them in life when I have a job and stuff like that. So this program really does teach you how to, you know, be on top of it, be disciplined, and, you know, balance everything. And
How to be an adult.
How to be an adult.
Fantastic.
Yes,
What
sir.
do you think about that, Skylar?
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said here. I guess my favorite thing about being in Collegiate is that everyone who's on the administrative team, everyone's so accommodating. Because just like Wendy, I played the cello before I came to Collegiate. I actually wanted to go to Juilliard so that I could pursue playing the cello. And because obviously Collegiate doesn't have a fine arts program, so I couldn't play in an orchestra, I did play in the Arlington Youth Symphony when they did have one. And whenever I would say like, oh, hey, I have to leave early or I have to go do this, everyone was just like, oh, send me an invite so I can go watch you play. It was really encouraging to me so that I could pursue my talents and my skills.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted me to.
Excellent, thank you. So Principal Edmond, when you are considering incoming class, what are the things that are most important to you as you select who you admit?
Believe it or not, it actually is academic sound scholars, because the curriculum is rigorous. The experiences require also maturity. So, you know, I kind of hate to say it that way, but we need our scholars to already be ready academically, because not only are we taking them academics, we're taking them to a whole nother level, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. And as you just heard from the scholars here, they already had the foundation when it came to the academic, but they were still working towards what it takes to be a college student. And now they're on a level where they're about to get ready to become adults. So we definitely need scholars to come in ready with certain things, and we continue to mold and help them and grow them. But we do want them to have a strong foundation and then continue upon that and get them to another level.
That's good, good. So for those who are out there watching us right now, as upper division students, what advice would you give your freshman self knowing what you know today?
Never give up. You can do it. You know, when you first start out, everything comes at you fast. But like I mentioned earlier, you'll find that perfect balance. And you'll come to notice that, you know, you can do anything you put your mind to. And then you'll keep your head down temporarily. Everything will be on top. And you'll tell yourself, man, you know what? I can do this. And you'll look up and you'll already be halfway there. And so really just having the ability to just keep going, you know, that right there is something that I would definitely tell incoming freshmen and also my freshman self as well. So just keep going.
Great advice. What about you, Skylar? What do you think?
I guess for me, it more so has to do with friends. Because especially when you're a freshman, they have that whole high school stereotype where this is where you're going to meet your friend group for the entire high school year. And like, especially for us going to Collegiate, we have generally like smaller class sizes. I think our class has like 73 maybe. And so I didn't really get to have the strongest friend group freshman year. And at the time I was just so distraught by it because, you know, everyone's always just like, this is when you're going to make your best friends. And as it turns out, like I met Wendy sophomore year. She's literally one of my best friends right now. And then my other best friend, I met her September of last year. And we have plans to get an apartment together. And so it's just important to know that you're going to lose friends, you're going to gain friends. It's more important the experiences that you learn from meeting all the people that you have. And it's also good for networking as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. What about you, Thurman? What advice would you give yourself?
Definitely, like Matt said, keep going. That's a big thing. But also, you got to make a choice. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. You got to make a choice. You got to choose. Right now, you got to choose your future, and that's a choice. That's one of the biggest choices I made in my life, and I'm very happy with it. You gotta choose. You gotta make a choice. You're not gonna be able to have. I mean, of course, you get the regular high school experience, but there's some stuff that you're just gonna have to lose so that later you can gain.
Absolutely. Wendy, what will you tell yourself?
So I would just say, like, keep your eye on the goal and just always have a positive mindset, because that's all it takes. Because once you have your positive mindset, you can think like, okay, I may have failed this exam, but this is just an area for growth that I can study and prepare for the next test. And it's also like, you will struggle a lot. Like, there's this thing like around the student body, it's called the collegiate cry. So basically, you're like at midnight or at 1 a.m., you're just like working on a bunch of assignments. And you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it done. Like, it's already 1 a.m. I'm not gonna get any sleep, but you get it done. You get it done. So you're going to make those sacrifices, but just with your positive mindset, you'll get through it.
You need to trademark that. Did you say the collegiate cry?
The collegiate cry, yeah.
Oh, hashtag collegiate cry. When it's overwhelming and you don't think you
let it go.
You let it go.
It's on a couple shirts out there already.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Good. Yeah, we all go through it. I love it. Anything else anyone wants to add? How about you, Principal? No.
Well, honestly, I would say listening to my scholars, like, that's everything, because they've experienced it. I think from an adult perspective, one thing I would like to add is what they pretty much said was intrinsic will. Like, you have to want it, you have to have the desire, you have to have the passion for it. Too often, as a parent, I'm guilty of it. I tell my child they're going to do this. But ultimately, the scholars had to make that decision that this is really what I want for myself, and this is why they're successful.
Well said, well said, well said. So I have a very serious question I have to ask you. And please don't take this the wrong way. Because, teenagers, I could say at times you all at best have mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
And so oftentimes when I hear teens talking, sometimes I'm like, huh? What was that? So can you help educate us? Educate me. Give me some vernacular. Give me some phrases that I must know to understand teen talk.
Pushing P.
What?
Pushing P.
Pushing P.
Number one trend right now. Pushing P.
Number one. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if I want to ask.
I don't know what that is.
Can you tell us what Pushing P is? But recognize that this is a rated G show.
All right. So, all right. I'm gonna keep it educational. Okay. So I'm gonna explain it to you in the best educational way. Someone who is always on top of their work, always going to class, focusing, taking notes. That's P.
That's
You're
P.
You're P.
That's P. That's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Somebody who slacks, don't care, yell at the teachers, blame everything but their work ethic. That's not P.
That's not P.
That ain't P.
Oh, wow.
That's not P. So being on this podcast, that's P.
That's P. This studio? It's P.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is it.
Oversleeping and you missed the chance to be on the podcast, that's not P. Okay, I think I got it.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, you got it.
Wendy Schuyler, what should I know?
So, like, teens in general, they go on TikTok a lot. And on TikTok, like, there's a bunch of sounds with the videos, a lot of popular sounds that become, like, viral, like, overnight. And recently, there was, like, a sound like Material Girl. Like,
Material Girl.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but it starts with Material Girl. And, like, you kind of, like, flex, not necessarily flex, just, like, show, like, what you've accomplished and, like, that I've gotten here from, like, all these sacrifices that I've done. So, like, Material Girl.
So now, is that a good or bad thing or both?
I think a little bit of both in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Skylar, give me an example where Material Girl would be positive.
To be fair, it's more in like Wendy's vocabulary than mine.
Okay. Well, Wendy, give me a positive example of
I'm not even sure.
Okay. Wait a minute. So y'all telling me that y'all speak a language that you don't know the definition of?
It's more
It
like,
can be like that.
It's more,
Like a
you know what I'm
reference,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
gotta
reference.
know it. You just gotta, it's one of those things you just kind of gotta be there for. You gotta,
yeah,
Okay.
because a lot of the
You just
stuff
kinda
we
gotta
say is
know
just
it.
like, it's just in our vocabulary now, so none of us really realize that it's like slang or that people don't say it.
Yeah.
So we just say it and don't realize it.
kind of there.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I think
That's groovy.
I think I'm guilty of that at some point in
I'm
time
sure we all are.
in my life, and so. But I'm glad to know that this situation we have right now that's P. Excellent. Well, I just have one last question, and I want you to chime in too, Principal Edmonds. So, you know, the one thing that's for sure, we're brought into this earth, we're born, and we will depart from this. And we never know how much time we truly have, but we do know that time will come to a close at some point. Considering all the sacrifices that you've made up until this point, early in your life, from your expectations, hopes, dreams, what legacy will you have left when your time is done on this planet?
For me, it's definitely, I just want you to know my name. You know, I want my name to be somewhere that represents something good, that represents something I built. Matter it be with myself or somebody else. I just want it to be something positive that's for somebody to remember me by. And I heard this quote and it stuck with me. If you want to be able to shop without looking at the tag, you got to be able to work without looking at the clock.
Say that one more time. That was profound.
Yeah, if you want to shop without looking at the tags, you got to be able to work without looking at the clock. You got to work hard, you know, and that's what gets you there.
Absolutely. I got a feeling that the world will know who Thurman Walton is when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Skylar, what about you? What legacy will you leave?
I guess the biggest thing for me is community, especially with the rise of the internet and especially with COVID having recently been so important in our lives. A lot of us are feeling a lot more isolated than we have for a very long time. And I think that being able to know that you have people who support you, who love you, who want the best for you, you can really do anything if you have that. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. Wendy, your thoughts?
So for me, I just want to be some kind of inspiration to a person. I am a first-generation student. Neither of my parents went to college. They immigrated from Mexico in the late 90s, and I've struggled financially at times. But yet with all these like obstacles and barriers that I've faced, I've been able to achieve a lot of things, even up to now that I'm 17. Currently, I'm an NHS president, BPA president, Green Club secretary. I'm involved in a lot of things, and I'm in the top of my class. So I feel like just like even though you're in this environment, you're not essentially stuck there. You can get through it and you can push through. So I just like want to be able to inspire others that they can do it too. If Wendy can do it, I can do it too.
Excellent. Thank you.
I never gave up. I think that's what I want my legacy to be. As a person who, you know, was up against the ropes a lot of times was up against the ropes, but you know, you ain't done until you say you're done. And in terms of me, I've never said that I was done. So I just want to be known as the person that just kept going, kept fighting, you know, fought for everything and ended up making it out the tunnel despite the potholes or the construction that was in the way. I was still there, still made it through. So I just want to be kind of like what they said, inspiration to those who, you know, tell themselves, I can't do it. It's too hard, too tough. Never quit. Nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I really appreciate it. I'm so inspired by that. And I want to hear from you too, Principal. But you know, just to kind of tie this conversation with our last question. So there was a phrase when I was around your age that we used to have just for what you just said. And it was coined by an artist named MC Hammer. He had the phrase, too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit.
Y'all know that?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Awesome. How about you, Principal? What legacy will you leave?
Wow, that was beautiful, what you all said. For me, I think I'm a person of character and love and passion. So I want everyone to know who I encounter that they were loved by me. And so what I mean by that is what love gives life.
That's right.
And so to know that I cared for you, I love you, that I gave you a purpose, I gave you help, I gave you hope, I gave you something that energized you. Again, goes back to inspiration. But love for me is that word that you know that I loved you. And at the end of the day, all that other stuff, it is what it is.
I have one thing that I want to add.
Please.
If you don't mind.
Of course.
It's actually something that like, it's kind of, I just want to speak. Don't let, a lot of times, I know something that I kind of struggle with or suffer from was that some people would look at me and they would look at like, I might wear a chain or earrings, and that they automatically like, you're not smart, like, oh, he doesn't try in school, like he doesn't get good grades. So I just want to let everybody know that don't listen, don't be afraid to be who you are. You literally could be the smartest person in the room, and the only thing that matters is that nobody else has to know as long as you know. And so I just really want to say that to anybody who might be listening or watching.
I appreciate that. That is fantastic advice. So here's a question that just popped into my head. Talk to us about your classroom experience. Describe that for us, for folks who might be curious about, what life is like for you in the classroom. Who'll start? Skylar?
I guess the biggest thing is that obviously we have dual credit classes, so we're taking college and high school. But for that, I know that I'm pretty sure we've all been here since academy, so we've been set up to be able to take these classes. But for someone who didn't start in like 6th grade or 9th grade, they can still come into our school at like 10th, 11th grade. But it's important to know that you're gonna have to work a lot more than the rest of us have because we spread out our classes over time. But like my friend that I've mentioned earlier, she came in 9th grade, and at that point we had already taken our prerequisite classes to take college classes. So now she has, I think, 5 classes, whereas like Wendy and I only have 1 or 2. So it's important to know that you can definitely enter this program later than the rest of us, but you have to be prepared to work a little harder and to do a little more.
Excellent, thank you. Anyone else want to talk about their classroom experience?
Yeah, I'll talk. Did you want to? Okay. Definitely one of the things I enjoy about it, I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy, one of the things that's definitely slept on is just being able to go use the bathroom without having to raise your hand. It's one of those things, you don't know how much you need until you get there. But also one thing I enjoy about the college classes is a syllabus. I love a syllabus because I'm able to plan out my work.
It's your contract.
I'm able to, see what's coming at me and plan for it. So these college classes, they're not, what I'm saying, nothing to play with, but
nothing to play with, but to give you a roadmap. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Kind of to add on what he said, especially the bathroom. Now, that's beautiful, You don't got to sit there and hold it
How much time do y'all spend in the bathroom?
Not that much, man. It depends on how long they keep us,
Okay.
No, but I think another thing too that's like really good in the classroom is that the way that it's set up, it's not only, a lot of times like you'll think you can only learn from your teacher in the classroom. But the good thing about college that I've come to find out, especially at Cedar Valley, is that you can actually learn as much as you want at home as well. Now, it does take some more discipline, but you literally have the power to gain as much knowledge as you want at home just as equally as you can in the classroom. So I think that's another big thing that should be highlighted, especially in this early college program as well.
That's right, learning how to learn. That's the whole purpose. Wendy, what are your thoughts?
So every early college high school has like a different structure for like how they spread out the curriculum that early college students are going to take. For us, freshman and sophomore year, we would spend it at the actual high school itself. And the CVC professors, they'd come over there and just lecture us. And then junior year happened, and because of coronavirus, we weren't able to attend Cedar Valley College itself. But now as a senior, being in these actual classes, I can just say like it's really fascinating to know that when I enter like the university level in August, I'm going to be thinking like I'm way ahead of like these other students that haven't been in an actual college environment because, it's different. Like when you have like an actual professor than like a teacher that's just like going to guide you through everything. And like, oh, hey, you have this assignment that you have to do. College professors do not do that.
No, they
don't.
That's right. That's right. You have to. We really want you to be independent thinkers and independent learners. Anyone want to add anything else?
Yeah.
Skylar?
So like Wendy said, the professors, they're not worried about us. Because they're teaching so many classes, they have so many students, so they're not really going to micromanage us. And it's so important for people who are coming into this program to know you have to be able to contact these professors and do it professionally at that, because you can't tell your mom like, hey, can you email my teacher, please? Ask her about what's going on. You can't say, oh, hey, counselor, can you please talk to this teacher? You have to be the person who can go up there, build a relationship with this professor so that you can learn as much as you humanly can.
Awesome.
Also, make sure that when you go in there, be prepared to, take some heat sometimes if if you ain't doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Because, there's been times where, they tell you, read a chapter and they'll straight up, if you didn't read it one time, they'll be like, well, good luck next year. It's kind of but they only do it because they're pushing you because they want to see you succeed. So just, don't take it to heart.
That's right. Independence is important. So one last question. Let me ask this. So you all absolutely are inspiration, truly. And I'm just curious to know what would you attribute you being in this position that you're in that's unique? How'd you get here?
First and foremost, the man upstairs, definitely. I mean, he set it up almost perfectly. I actually, at first, I didn't get in this program. I didn't make the first round cuts, but, God knew that it was my purpose, and he knew that it was a path that I needed to take. So then when some people, they decide not to go, they called me up 5th grade. So that right there, I think I owe it all to him for sure.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. Skylar?
I guess for me, like both of my parents, of course, but specifically my mom, because I know like Wendy having immigrant parents too, immigrant parents are a little different. Like, especially if they came here for you to get a better life, they're not going to just deal with like, oh, I don't really want to do this. You're going to do it. And like, I remember coming into Collegiate, because like I said earlier, I didn't really want to go because I was in the orchestra. My mom said, we'll figure out something else. You're going to Collegiate. And at the time I did not want to do it. But like now looking back on it, I'm so happy that she did that because I've gotten so many opportunities I otherwise don't think I would have. So that was really important for me.
Excellent. Thank you.
For me, definitely, like Matt said, the man upstairs set it up for me. I'm grateful. But also, like Skylar said, I didn't want to come. I didn't want to come in 5th grade. Cause I'm big on sports. I play baseball. I was a football player. I love football. I love sports, basketball, anything like that. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, just play sports and keep my grades good enough, But coming here taught me how to excel, And like I said earlier, it's just one of those decisions you have to make in terms of certain things like sports. But the family here keeps you together, keep you sane. It's a small class, like we said earlier. But they keep you sane, keep you working through anything like that. So,
excellent.
So for me, I am a little nerd. In 5th grade, I was like, for sure, I'm going to Collegiate. Like, I don't care. They call it like they used to call it like a nerd school. Like that's where all the nerds go. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a nerd. I'm gonna go to this school and get my associates.
That's cool. That is so cool.
But for me, my parents definitely, and my siblings, just like their background, my dad immigrated here when he was like at the age of 13, 14, by himself, and he just built a life for himself. So like knowing that, it kind of inspired me to do the same as well. And even though we've been through these barriers and circumstances, I've been able to push through. So I definitely can say that my family, my mom, my dad, are definitely great supporters for me.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any final thoughts from our principal?
I think what I want to also make clear that anyone who's watching this, because they always hear in the academy and high school piece of it. So the academy is actually the middle school. It's the 6th through 8th grade. And then the high school is obviously 9th through 12th. But what's unique about this program is that it actually filters on one campus, so 6th through 12, with sometimes crossing over for professors or teachers who've actually been on the campus for the academy piece as well as the high school piece. So these scholars here have actually gone through the program from 6th grade and now about to be graduating seniors, not only as a high school student, but also as a college associate's graduate. So it's very unique. And as they mentioned, family, personal family, as well as a community of family, that is something we really want to embrace and continue to strive to have on our campus, which is why I go back to being exceptional citizens is what our goals are, right? But to do that, they've been able to network with these group of scholars and teachers for all these years. Wow. And now what family is, that's who they come back to and say, hey, look, we did this. And just to kind of cap it off, I actually have one scholar who is actually a graduate of 2018 who may be coming back to our campus as a teacher after all these years.
Fantastic.
And that's what makes this so beautiful. And I'm happy that Cedar Hill was able to make this happen.
Great. Well, thank you all again. I deeply appreciate you sharing your story and helping us tell your story to the world. But that's our time. Thank you again for streaming Sunsational News, the video blog celebrating the amazing students and programs at Dallas College, Cedar Valley. And again, at Cedar Valley, we are known as the Suns because the sun never sets on the possibilities. Take care.
This is Camila. She's a student at Dallas College.
Why don't you go to college with me?
How am I going to pay for that?
Dallas College has scholarships and financial aid.
They also have free dart passes.
I'll help you enroll tomorrow.
Dallas College.